Hi guys, my name is Amy Elizabeth. Welcome back to my channel. As you can see, we are doing another AmyCakes video. Today I'm going to be making some little mini Victoria Sponge cakes. They're going to be cupcakes that I'm going to cut in half and decorate with some whipped cream and strawberry jam in the middle, like a big Victoria Sponge cake, except they're going to be little, tiny, cute, adorable ones. This is actually my own cake recipe that my mum has taught me. She taught me it years and years ago, and it's absolutely foolproof. I've never baked bad cakes with this recipe. I'm going to show you all the ingredients, let you know what you need to bake all these, and we're going to get started. First thing you want to do is preheat your oven to 180 to 200 degrees Celsius. The equipment you're going to need for this bake includes a sieve, a spatula, a cake prodder or cocktail stick, an electric whisk or a hand whisk, one big mixing bowl, 6 ounces or 170 grams of flour, caster sugar and butter or margarine. And then you're going to need 3 eggs, 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. So the first thing you're going to be doing is you're going to be taking your 6 ounces of butter or margarine. I'm using stalk margarine because it's just perfect for cakes, as it says on the tin. And then your 6 ounces of caster sugar. Now the best thing to do is just to quickly sieve this in, just so that you don't get any huge lumps of sugar in your mixture, because lumpy sugar will then bake into the cake and then you'll just be eating solid lumps of sugar, which you don't want. So then once that is in the bowl together, what you then want to do is take your hand whisk or electric whisk, and you just want to beat this until it's just combined. You don't want to overbeat it because otherwise it will lose the sort of fluffiness, but you want it so that it's light and fluffy and all the sugar is incorporated into the butter. There you go, so just incorporated. And then what you want to do is you want to just take your spatula and just scrape down the bowl just to make sure you've got all of it together, and then just give it a quick mix through with the spatula just so that you know it's all combined and it's nice and fluffy and soft, which that is. So the next thing we're going to be doing is cracking the egg. So what I'm going to do is just crack it on the side of the bowl so it's got a nice big crack in it, and then put 1 egg in the centre of the mixture. So I'm just going to mix this egg in with the butter and sugar. It should only take a few seconds. Again, try not to overmix it because otherwise you'll beat out most of the texture. So again, just scrape down the bowl, make sure you've got all the mixture in the centre all nicely mixed together with your spatula. Scrape off the spatula and then repeat until you have added all 3 of your eggs. There we are, that's the second egg incorporated. And there's the third, so it shouldn't take very long at all to get those mixed in. Now I'm just going to scrape the bowl down with my spatula, just make sure that everything's all mixed in by giving it one last little mix. Now at this point it can sometimes look like the mixture has separated, but that is not an issue because as soon as you add the flour, that will all come back together. As long as you've mixed all the egg in properly, you're going to be absolutely fine. So just give that a good scrape down. So now what we're going to be doing is next adding the flour and baking powder. Grab your sieve and just sieve in the 6 ounces or 170 grams of self-raising flour. And then you want to just put in your 2 teaspoons of baking powder on top of the flour, because if you don't sieve in your baking powder, you will have huge lumps of baking powder, and baking powder burns your throat if you do not sieve it properly. Sieve that in nice and gently. All the baking powder is going to go in mixed in with that. Then just push all the lumps through at the end. Make sure you've got all the big bits out. There we go. And then what you want to do is you want to take up your spatula. You don't want to mix it, you want to fold it. So to fold it, what you do is you go round the edge, picking up as much as you can, fold it through the middle and back, sort of in like a figure of 8 motion, but just so that you can get all the flour incorporated nicely into the mixture. Now this is how you get the air into the cake. If you don't fold the flour, you won't get the air in the cake and then it won't rise. It will start to come together. It takes a few minutes. But there we go, you can see it all starting to incorporate into the mixture now. And then because you've sieved it, you won't get any horrible lumps of flour or baking powder, and it all goes neatly into the cake, and you see all those little pockets of air bubbles in there. That is because you folded in the flour, and that is how you know that your cake batter is the right consistency. And now the last thing, just stop mixing because you don't want to overmix it, is just to add the 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, just to give it that extra vanilla-y flavour. So just mix that in until it's fully incorporated. Oh, it smells beautiful. And that right there is your cake batter. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape off my spatula, and then we're going to lay out some cupcake cases, split the mixture into the cupcake cases, and then we're going to stick them in the oven to bake. So what we're going to do next is I'm going to just move that to one side. Got our 2 cupcake trays there. What I normally do is I normally use an ice cream scoop to measure out the mixture. Get your desired cupcake cases. I'm just using these really cute purple, pink and blue, cute little vintagey ones. Come on, cupcake case. There we go. So I'm just going to do pink down that side. Now I'm not sure how many cupcakes this will make. Usually it makes about a tray and a half. So I'm just going to lay out all the cases to fill both trays, and then we'll see if I need any more or any less. This whole video is just going to be me struggling to separate cake cases, isn't it? Fab. Last one. When I can get it. There we go, finally. Right, put those to one side. So what you want to do is just scoop up a scoop of mixture into a little ball and just plonk it into each case like that. Make sure they're all about even. Basically, it's just good to have it as a rough measurement. If you haven't got an ice cream scoop, don't stress. Just use a spoon, and there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. As long as you can get roughly even cupcakes, then you're good to go. Okay. Scrape it from around the side of the bowl and top up any that you feel are a little bit less in mixture. So as you can see, the amount of mixture only did that many cakes. So if you wanted to double the mixture, it's quite a simple recipe to double, because you literally just have to make it 340 grams of flour, sugar, butter and 6 eggs. Sorted. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to get these in the oven, and I'm going to bake them, because they're only little tiny cakes, for 10 to 15 minutes to start with. Prod them with the cake prodder or cocktail stick, and if the cake prodder comes out clean, that means you know they are baked. So I'm going to get these in my preheated oven at 180 degrees, and we're going to time it for 15 minutes, and then we will come straight back. And would you look at those freshly baked cupcakes? I've prodded them with the cake prodder. It's all coming out clean. Just pick a cupcake, any cupcake, stick it down into the base. Comes out completely clean there. No residue, no watery residue, nothing on there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get a cooling rack out of the cupboard and put these all on a cooling rack. Get your cake prodder in there and scoop them out. That's probably the best way forwards. And one there. Look at those. Beautiful. So what we're going to do is just leave those to cool down before you do anything with them, because if you try and decorate them while they're still hot, the cream won't set and it'll all just be a massive disaster. We will come back in about half an hour. Going to go and clean everything up, clean this up, clean these up, and then we will come back and we will start decorating. Okay, so it's been about 30 minutes to an hour. What I'm going to start with is take the cupcake cases off, and then just where they're nice. Oh, look at that, nice and spongy. Let's just show you the inside of those. Oh, look how nice and spongy they are. What we're going to do is to cut them straight through the middle with a nice straight knife, and then in the middle on the bottom I'm going to put the jam, and then I'm probably going to pipe cream on top so that you can get cute little individual Victoria sponges. Just going to quickly unwrap these and then I will come back. There we go, and the last one. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and grab a knife. Just going to hold it nice and flat, cut it across. There we go, and then you can see it just splits in half nicely like that. So I'm just going to do that for all of them. Look at that lovely spongy centre underneath the cake. That is how you know they are beautifully baked. So I'm just going to cut all of these and then we'll come back in a second. And the last one, just cut that in half like that. There we go. Now we have all the perfect little halves of all the cakes. And so now we can get on to the exciting part. So here I have 300 ml of double cream. I have 300 ml, but I'm not sure I'm going to need 300 millilitres. So I'm just going to pour half in. And then I can always whip more if I need to, but for now that will be fine. And there we go, nice whipped cream. I'm going to put the jam on first. Just going to get a clean teaspoon and my tiny little offset spatula so that I can spread it around the cakes a bit easier. And what I'm going to do is just take the top half off the cake and I'm just going to spoon off about a teaspoonful of jam just onto the base of the cake. Just scrape off the spoon so you get all the last little bits. And then I'm just going to use the offset spatula just to sort of spread it around so that it's a nice even coating. If you haven't got an offset spatula, don't worry, just use the back of the teaspoon or a knife. Either way is fine, but I just love my little offset spatula, it's really cute, so why not use it? So I don't know if you can see that there, that's just that tiny little one done there. Now I'm just going to do the same thing for each individual little cake. One last little teaspoonful. Perfect. Oop. And then if any need a little bit extra, just dump a tiny little bit more on there if you've got some more to spare. Just put a little bit extra on there like that. Perfect. Now I'm just going to take my offset spatula, just pick them all up and just spread it out. There you go. Right, that is all the jam spread on those. The next thing I'm going to do is, rather than just scooping the whipped cream on when it looks really messy, I'm actually going to be using a piping bag and a small nozzle just to pipe a little swirl of cream on top of the jam. The nozzle I've selected is just a nice kind of star tip nozzle. So I've just picked one with a nice wide sort of top so then enough cream comes out so that it doesn't get stuck. And I'm just going to put that in my piping bag. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my spatula from earlier, hold my piping bag open and just scrape in the whipped cream into the piping bag. Now you need to make sure that the cream is whipped stiff enough, because if it isn't whipped stiff enough it won't keep its form when you pipe it. And there we go. So you really do want this cream to be cold enough, because when you pipe it the temperature will increase because you're squeezing it with your hands, and so it will get warmer. So you want it to be quite cold and refrigerated so that when you pipe it you get a nice formed little pipe there. Can you see that little pattern on there? So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hover it slightly above my cake, not actually touching the cake with the nozzle, and then just pipe a little tiny swirl like that. Just swirl it around like that. There we go, just so that you have a single even layer of cream on all of your little cupcakes. Okay, just keep going like that. And all of them. And you see how it makes it just look that nice, neat swirl pattern, so you're not just plonking the cream on there. It all is an even coating. It's not like you're putting more on one bit than you are on the other. There we go, and the last one, just pipe that onto there, squeeze out the last of the cream. Perfect, that was about all of the cream, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to fill in any little tiny gaps around here that might have come out from air bubbles while I was piping. Just add some little extra splodges, fill all those little tiny gaps. And there we go, that is your beautifully piped little cream and jam cake there. So that is the base. So then all you do is take the base of the cake and the top of the cake, and then we're just going to go ploop, like that, and then you can see they look like tiny little mini Victoria sponges. So just going to put the tops on all of them. And don't worry, it doesn't destroy the beautiful cream that you've just piped, because you just place them gently on top so that all they're doing is sitting. You're not squashing them, you're not flattening them. So there we go. That is all the tops placed on there. And as you can see, if I lift one up, they're just cute, super adorable. And they've got plenty of height on them, plenty of filling, more than enough to please whoever is eating them. Plenty of cream, plenty of jam. And then just to top them off, the last little thing you want to do, this is completely optional, but I just like to do this with little Victoria sponges because it just makes them that little bit nicer. Get your sieve from earlier, make sure it's nice and dry. Get some icing sugar out the cupboard, grab a spoon, sprinkle a tiny little bit into the sieve as you're going over the top, and just dust them very gently away the icing sugar, just to give them that very, very Victoria sponge look. Should only need about a teaspoon of icing sugar to cover all the cupcakes, because you don't want too much on there. And there we go. That is those completely finished. There we are then, guys, that is my recipe for, I don't know what I'm doing with my arms. That is my recipe for little mini Victoria Sponge Cupcakes. I really hope you guys make these at home. They're really cute, super adorable. They go really, really well for any sort of event you're doing, birthdays, afternoon teas, just little get-togethers with your friends, whatever you fancy making them for. They are super adorable and they are sure to impress because they look really, really professional and really cute. So I really hope you enjoyed watching this video. I'm going to be doing more of this regularly because it is my favourite time of the year, because Bake Off is back on telly. Yay! So every week when Bake Off is on, I tend to do a bake just before Bake Off, like day or two before, of whatever they're making on Bake Off for that week. So this is why I did cakes today, because the cake week just gone and I missed it, so I figured I'd catch up. And then next week is biscuit week. So I haven't quite decided what I'm going to do yet, but I think I'm going to be doing some little Viennese World biscuits, maybe sandwiching a couple together, putting some cream in the middle and dipping them in chocolate, because they're so decadent, so lovely, and the shortbread biscuits, just Viennese biscuits, just they make the whole dish. So I'm probably going to be doing that for biscuit week. So every week I'm going to be trying to bake whatever they're baking on Bake Off, some form of variant of that. I'm probably definitely not going to be trying what they're trying because they're far more advanced than me, but I'll be doing some sort of variant of whatever they're baking on Bake Off, make a video of it and post it on my YouTube channel so that you guys can keep up with the sort of Bake Off hype as well as me, because who doesn't love a good bit of Bake Off? So that ends it for today. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I have nothing else to say, so I will see you in my next video. Bye!